Hello everybody, my name is Patrick Utni. Today I will show the last Mikhail's game in his life, and this game was played in Barcelona 1992. White Mikhail, black Vladimir Akopian. Vladimir Akopian was playing for the first prize in this tournament, and somewhere here he refused offer for draw. Mikhail was sick and he was not feeling well, so he offered draw, and Akopian refused. It's a good moment for us. We are lucky to watch the last Mikhail's game and the last Mikhail's victory. Okay, short castle and let's fight. Let's fight and let's watch the last Mikhail's game. Nothing special. We are speaking about main theory, and this theory, of course, is a deep theory, and I will go faster in a more interesting position. So d4, black took on d3, e6, and white took on d3. Nothing special maybe till now. White is taking on f6. Of course, if black will take by bishop, is losing pawn. So that means that black has to take by a pawn. And now this position is interesting. Black has two bishops advantage. Has an open g file, but his pawn formation is weakened, and maybe some endgames should be difficult for him. One of the main plans for black is to open position, because two bishops love open positions and they are getting to be stronger in open positions. So maybe one of the biggest black's plans used to be rook to g8 or d5 or one day f5. White is going to take knight on c6 and is playing c4. Why? White is playing c4. Of course, black has two plans, d5 or f5, because black is looking forward to open position. And with move c4, we are going to stop this plan. And of course, what's more, we are using c3 square for our knight. It's good to remember that this knight is nearly every time well placed on c3, so move c4 is a good move. Knight to c3, and of course black is running to h8 and he's making space for his rook to g8, because the biggest black's compensation for bad pawn formation is in open g file, and of course because he has two bishops. Okay, now it's interesting time of this game. I will show three options. Mikhail will play rook to d1, but I found it in just database move knight to d4, and I found it move white's queen to e3. What's funny here, Mikhail will play all three moves. Of course not in one time, but he's playing rook to d1. Now he is going to e3, and now he is going knight to d4. So we saw all three options, step by step, move by move, and Mikhail played all of them. Okay, now in this position he is going to attack white's maybe strongest c6 piece, and maybe he will take this piece. Maybe he will take black's advantage of two bishops. Black is playing rook to c8, and Mikhail is playing f4. Now black decides to save this bishop, and he is going to d7. Okay, he is saving his bishops, but he is losing time. At the other side, he is attacking c4 pawn, so white will play b3. Not a difficult move. Bishop to d8 and knight to f3. Maybe interesting move is to play g3 and to stop some threats in an open g file. But Mikhail is not worried about this attack, and he is playing knight to f3. He believes that this knight on d4 is doing nothing. It's a good idea to improve our bad pieces, and maybe Mikhail is looking somewhere here. He is looking to play maybe to a7 and to take black's pawn. What's interesting in this position is that black's army is somewhere here. So makes sense that black's army is not here, and maybe the biggest black weakness is on b7. So Mikhail is not playing for defense, he's playing for victory. Even I told you that he was sick, he was really unhealthy, and this was his last game of his life. b5, and he's going to attack another black biggest weakness, and this is a pawn on a7. What black should play? Of course, black is not happy to lose pawn and to lose game against Mikhail. As I told you, black is playing for a win and for victory in this tournament in Barcelona 1992. So he played bishop to c7. He lost a pawn, and black took on c4. Mikhail is playing for a win, so he's playing b4, and now nearly every endgame is won for white. Two strong pawns, A and B pawns, are running in every endgames forward, and this is a victory nearly in every endgame. So black need to play something more aggressively, and he's playing with his queen to g7. Maybe interesting move was move d5, because as I told you, it's good to open position and maybe to attack this pawn. You know, what's the difference between this bishop? Bishop on c7 is a bad bishop. Now, after move d5, this bishop is stronger. He has more space, more energy, and this is exactly story about bishops. Bishops love open lines, and it's different to have pawn on d6 or d5. Okay, probably it's a good move to play bishop to b7, because black will not take on f4 because he will lose on d7 bishop. Makes sense to go to g7 and rook to e2. It's a really tough position, maybe with compensation for black, but this compensation is only in middle game. This compensation will not be in endgame, so that's another story, but maybe here I believe I prefer black. Okay, let's come back, and black played to g7, g3, d5. So he open position and has a first threat to take on f4 this pawn back. Center is under fire, so white took on d5, black took on f4, and of course biggest black's threat is to take once on g3 and then second times on g3, and this is really not healthy variation for white's king, so it's running out of these threats. Okay, f5, and it's the time to take the piece, it's the time to take a challenge, and Mikhail is taking on f4. Black is taking on c3, and white is attacking on d7 bishop, and of course has a really strong threat to exchange these queens, because as I told you, these two runners are victory in nearly every endgame for white. So bishop to a4, and here white doesn't have time to go to e5, because at the end of this variation he will lose a rook. So he's going to d4, and black should play this move. He should take on d5, and maybe this variation is still okay for black. Of course, it's a very tough position. White's king is somewhere in the air and is a biggest weakness. But as I told you in the beginning, this line is a weak line, and Mikhail has the right piece on the right square, and a really interesting position with too many options. But what's happened here? Black is under pressure, and everybody knows that if we are playing under pressure, we are making mistakes. So that's another lesson from this game. Play aggressive chess and harass your opponent. send your opponent to a difficult position, because your opponent sometimes will make a mistake in hard positions. So white took on e6 and knight to g5. Black took on g5, check. And of course, this is a big blunder, and Mikhail is winning. Unfortunately for everybody, Mikhail is winning his last live games, and a few days after this game he died. So check on d8, and black is losing his queen on c3. Of course, black is losing game. So maybe this was not the most exciting Mikhail's game, but it was the last Mikhail's game, and I'm trying to show game where I would like to remember one of the most original chess player of all times, to say him well done and thank you, Mikhail, for your games. So I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, press like or press follow in my YouTube chess channel, and I hope I will make another nice videos for you. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I will see you soon. Bye bye.